Hi there, scrap friends. It's Louise with you today on behalf of Mystical Scrapbooks, and I am sharing a 12 by 12 layout, and I am using the Uniquely Creative True North collection. And this is the first time I've sort of got my hands on this collection, but I love how masculine this is. So I have picked a couple of photos and these are from a photo shoot that I make my husband and children do every Father's Day. So we go out and we find a spot and I just take some nice photos of him with the kids, and I think it's a great Father's Day memory and I love creating this on a page. So at this point, I sort of have no particular idea in mind of what I actually want to do here. I know I want to tear some of these papers, but it kind of just develops from there in terms of layering these papers and getting them into that background. So I'm really sort of just tearing on an angle and then placing each paper layer onto the page and seeing what happens. So I have picked the two sort of patterned papers. Pardon me, pick the two pattern papers, and then I've got that navy blue cardstock as well. I've just started with a basic white cardstock background, which gets covered up, so there's no stress. You can use whatever you want in the background. I tend to like to use one of my uglier papers or something that I'm not likely to use to mount on top of so that I don't waste the white cardstock. But in this case, I had the white cardstock there, so I just rolled with it. Now off camera, I've gone ahead and I've stuck all of that down. I have also mounted these photos onto that wood grain sort of paper, and I'm going to place a couple of the embellishments. So this is the cut apart sheet that I just sat and fussy cut one day, and I've got this packet of word titles from Cocoa Vanilla Studio as well. So I thought that that fit in quite nicely, and you know, perfect's not a word I like to use all the time, but in this case I think it really suits the layout. So I'm going to use that as my title. Now, as this layout was developing, I sort of got a little bit stuck and I couldn't work out what I wanted to do. I knew it needed something in the background, but it's already quite a busy background because we've got stripes in that turquoise or tealy color. Then we've got the text and we've got the navy and we've got the wood. So there is quite a bit going on already in this background. And I'm looking at it and I'm sort of thinking, what do I want to do? Do I want to add some watercolor? Do I want to add some gesso to mute it down a little bit? I toyed with the idea of putting a doily behind my photo cluster as well, but I just couldn't come up with anything that worked. So I ended up putting this layout aside for a little while and went and played with some other elements, cleaned up my desk, you know, tried to distract myself from it and had a little bit more of a think about it and came back to it with a cut file. I knew it needed something behind the photo, and it wasn't till I was doing something else with cutting a cut file that I went, oh, that's what that layout needed. So you can see I've got this great star cut file. I'm going to pop that sort of behind but a little bit in front, add all those sticker elements and a couple of the cutter parts, and this layout is finished. So I'm much happier with how that looks. I hope you've enjoyed that from me. Thanks for watching. Please check out Mystical Scrapbooks and of course hit the little subscribe button if you haven't already.